I do a lot of traveling, and it can get a little bit crazy when I'm trying to coordinate my schedule, my husband's schedule, and we also have a young son and three dogs. So trying to coordinate everybody's travel and logistics and also make it so that it's not a burden on me having to plan everything. I use ClickUp to put together a travel scheduling checklist. Now, it's not a packing checklist. It's just for scheduling travel. What is everything that needs to get done to just get us out the door and on the road to wherever we're going? And my travel checklist looks like, okay, what are the dates? I have a start and end date of when we're going to be traveling. And then the name of the task is where we're going. Then there's subtasks. What's my plan? What's my husband's plan? What's my son's plan? Have we booked boarding or a dog sitter or whatever it is that we're doing with the dogs? What's their plan? And then also something that we often can forget is, did we block this time on our calendars? So that way meetings can't get booked over it, or we are misinforming our significant other on where we're going to be and when. So I use this as a template in ClickUp, and every time that we have a new trip, I'll duplicate that travel scheduling checklist. Or you can also just set it up as a regular template and go to Template Center, use that template. But the idea is every single trip that gets planned goes in here. And when you set up each of the tasks associated with that trip as a subtask, then you can assign each other who needs to do what. That way, one person, if it's a family trip, for instance, isn't having to carry that whole burden of scheduling everything. Maybe one of you tackles scheduling flights and the other one gets the hotel or coordinates the dog watcher, whatever it might be. One of the other little nice to haves that I have in ClickUp for our travel checklist is I have a custom field for who that travel is going to be. For instance, is it a family travel? I have that color coded as a certain color. Let's say it's green. So family travel is green. If it's just me by myself, I'm blue. If it's just my husband by himself, he's yellow. And maybe it's just a mother-son trip that's pink, and then a father-son trip that's orange, let's say. And so whenever I do that, I can look at the calendar view and click up for those tasks, and I can see at a glance who is traveling when, are we in town, instead of having to use a regular, like let's say Google Calendar or something like that, where not all of your calendars might be shared under one place. Your significant other might have a workplace calendar that you don't have visibility to. You might have 3 different calendars based on whatever you're managing. And so this is just for travel and just so that you can see at a glance, are you available or are you going to be out of town? Also have just one little other piece that whenever we're home and it's something that we might need to plan because we're going to be at an all day event, or maybe we're traveling like 2 hours away, that we're going to be gone for the day. And I might want to set that we are going to need a dog watcher to go out and let the pups out, in the middle of the day or something. So I also have that as a custom field along with family, me only, mother, son, all those custom fields I talked about. I also have a home custom field with its own color. It's gray. And that way, if it's something that we're going to be gone for the entire day, I'll be able to coordinate accordingly and also be able to see on my travel calendar, oh, we're not going to be home that day. That means I can't plan dinner with friends or, something like that. Like, okay, no, I'm actually going to be out that day. So this is one of my travel hacks for, keeping things together, but especially when you have other responsibilities. This is really for people that have a significant other, have a kid, maybe have pets, because it's not just you anymore. And maybe you want to be super organized and it is just you and you want to use something like this. But this really works great when you have other responsibilities in your life and that you need to coordinate with another significant other. That way y'all aren't doing things overlapping or one of you isn't having to do everything. You're really able to stay on the same page and coordinate everything. So things that I'll put in there once we get things going is when we get our itinerary for our hotel stay, let's say, or our accommodation stay, then we'll screenshot that and put it in there. That way, my husband doesn't need to ask me, hey, where are we staying? What time is check-in? Things like that. I'll just screenshot the email and I drop it right in there. That way he doesn't ever have to ask me. Instead, he can go in there and look whenever he has a question, or maybe there's some ideas of places that I want to go or things that I want to do. I'll throw those into the description of that main travel task let's say we're going to go to Hilton Head Island for the weekend. I will put in the description things that I want to do while I'm there. And that way I'm not just like going into Pinterest. I'm not having to search everywhere for it. I can just go look at that one task that has everything in there for that travel and see what were things that I wanted to do, or maybe my husband wanted to do. And we can all collaborate in this one task. We can tag each other, we can leave comments, and it really simplifies and makes it easier for us to travel, especially as often as we're always going. So if you want my travel hack checklist, then look in the description here and it'll have a link to how I do everything in ClickUp for scheduling this out.